Before you buy a monitor this year, you need to hear this. Because a lot of people aren't buying bad monitors. They're buying the wrong type of monitor for how they actually use it. And the regret doesn't hit immediately. It builds slowly. And by the time you realize it, you're already outside the return window. This isn't about specs. It's not about chasing the highest refresh rate. And it's definitely not about what looks the brightest in a store. This is about long-term experience. The kind you feel after using the monitor 6 to 8 hours a day. For gaming, for work, for editing, for content, for everything. Because that's where the real difference shows up. Most people shop like this. Higher resolution equals better. Higher refresh rate equals better. More features equals better. But monitors don't work that way. Some features cancel each other out. Some specs are marketing fluff. And some upgrades sound premium, but don't improve your real experience at all. Let's break down the worst offenders. You see 165 Hz, maybe 240 Hz, and the price looks insane. You think you're getting elite performance for mid-range money. But here's what they cut to hit that price. Panel quality, color accuracy, contrast depth, overdrive tuning. So yes, it's fast, but dark scenes look gray, colors look flat, motion has subtle ghosting, and brightness feels uneven. You bought speed, but you sacrificed image quality. And unless you're playing competitive esports at a serious level, that trade-off isn't worth it. Most people would enjoy a better panel at 144 Hz more than a cheap 240 Hz panel. 4K sound superior, more pixels, sharper text, more workspace. But resolution alone doesn't make a monitor premium. If the panel has weak contrast and poor brightness control, 4K just gives you sharper mediocrity. Worse, many people pair 4K monitors with GPUs that struggle to push stable frames. So now, gaming feels heavier, scaling becomes annoying, performance drops, and you end up lowering settings anyway. If your hardware can't comfortably drive 4K, you're paying for pixels you won't fully use. That's wasted money. This one is everywhere. The box says HDR. The website says HDR. The settings menu says HDR. But the monitor peaks at mediocre brightness. There's no proper dimming zones. And blacks barely improve. You turn HDR on, and everything looks washed out. You assume HDR just isn't impressive. Wrong. You just bought marketing HDR. Real HDR requires real brightness and real contrast control. Anything else is a sticker. These monitors promise everything. High refresh rate, 4K resolution, USB-C charging, speakers, KVM, HDR, all a mid-range price. That's a red flag, because something had to be compromised. Usually, panel consistency, backlight uniformity, motion clarity, or long-term durability. You don't get premium performance in every category at budget pricing. When a monitor tries to do everything well, it usually does everything average. And average becomes frustrating when it's the screen you stare at every day. Big brands like Samsung, LG, and Asus make great monitors. But not every model they release is great. Some are overpriced mid-tier panels riding on brand trust. You're paying extra for marketing, reputation, design tweaks, not necessarily better performance. Blind brand loyalty is expensive. Judge the model, not just the logo. What actually matters and nobody emphasizes. Instead of chasing hype specs, prioritize consistent panel quality, good contrast performance, stable brightness, low real-world input lag, solid factory calibration. Those are the things you feel daily, not the numbers printed on the box. Here's what makes this dangerous. Bad monitors don't shock you. They drain you. Eye strain increases. Colors feel off. Motion looks slightly smeared. Dark scenes feel lifeless. You won't think, this monitor is terrible. You'll think, something feels off. That's slow regret. And it's worse than instant disappointment. The smarter buying approach. Before buying, ask yourself, what am I actually using this monitor for? Competitive gaming? Content creation? Office work? Mixed usage? Buy for your primary use case, not the most impressive spec combination. If you game casually, you don't need extreme refresh rates. If you edit photos, panel accuracy matters more than speed. If you multitask heavily, resolution and panel size matter more than RGB lights. Match the monitor to your behavior, not to marketing. The best monitor isn't the one with the highest numbers. It's the one you forget about while using it. No distractions, no frustration, no compromises you notice daily. Because once you start noticing your monitor in a negative way, you already made the wrong choice. Buy for long-term experience, not short-term excitement.